weli waxaa sii socda daawadayaal shirarka iyo abaabulka ay sameynayaan Soomaalida ku dhaqan dalka Mareykanka gaar ahaan gobolka Minnesota oo ah halka cabsida badan ay ka jirto sidoo kalena laga cabsi qabo in dadka sharci la'aanta ah halkaasi laga tarxiilo. St Cloud waxa ka dhacay shirar ballaaran oo weliba luuqad adag markaasi ay kula hadleen Soomaalida halkaasi degan madaxweynaha dalkaasi Mareykanka Donald Trump sidoo kale ay u sheegeen inay yihiin dad halkaasi ku dhashay ku dhaqmay sidoo kale ganacsiyo kala duwan kule oo wax ku bartay. haddaba daawadayaal waxaad moodaa in Soomaalida markani ay baraarugeen sidoo kalena foostada culus ee lagu soo riixay ee dadkani cadaanka ay ku soo riixeen in markani iyagana ay rabaan in ay iska riixaan. dagaalka u dhaxeeya Trump iyo Soomaalida waa uu sii xoogeysanaya marba marka ka dambaysa waxaana sidoo kale dhaqdhaqaaqyo culus bilaabay ee booliiska ICE kuwaas oo lagu soo dhexdaadiyay inta badan meelaha ay Soomaalidu degto waxaana la sheegay ilaa 4 qof in ka badan in ay taniya maanta qabteen. haddaba Soomaalida waxa lagu baaqay in ay midoobaan cududooda ay mideeyaan sidoo kalena ay iska daayaan kali socodka iyo waliba in meelaha Soomaalidu ay ku yartahay in kali ay u maraan. haddaba daawadayaal waxaan idin la wadaagayaa hadallada markaasi ay ka jeediyeen Soomaalida St Cloud kuwaas oo luuqad adag kula hadlay madaxweynaha dalka Mareykanka Donald Trump runtana indhaha ka saaray waxayna sheegeen in sharciyad ay u leeyihiin sidoo kale sharci rasmi ah ay haystaan iyo waliba dhalashada dalkaasi Mareykanka goodis aan waxba laga qaadanin iyo in markaasi loo caga jugleeyo inkastoo ay jiraan dad sharci la'aan ah sidoo kalena iyaga loo baqdin qabo in dib loo soo celin doono. haddana dadaal badan ayaa jira oo waxa taniyo sanatarada iyo sidoo kale mas'uuliyiinta gobolkan Soomaalida ku matala dadaal ku bixinayaan sidii arintaasi ay u damin lahaayeen sidoo kalena dawladda Mareykanka ay culays ku saar lahaayeen in dadkani ay yihiin muwaadiniin dalka Mareykanka u dhashay. bal waa kuwan qaar ka mid ah Soomaalida dalkaasi Mareykanka oo markaasi ka shiray arintii iyo hadalkii ka soo baxay madaxweynaha dalka Mareykanka Donald Trump.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Goni. As Ahmed just said, I'm here on my personal capacity and not on with the organization that I am. I wanted to briefly touch on few things. And one is the comment Hassan Abdullahi or Hassan Yusuf has just said. There's actually a lot of negative, comments and publicity in the online discussions. And there's an individual that I met online, and basically our discussion was, she was trying to convince me to pack my bags and go back to Somalia. And I was, in a civil way, convincing her that this is where I belong. I'm going nowhere. My 20-year-old son, who just graduated from high school, last year was born in St Cloud Hospital. My wife graduated from Apollo High School. He graduated from Apollo High School. And this is home. In her discussion, she said, your resume looks good, so you can be part of the group that are rebuilding Somalia. But this is where I should build, not Somalia. This is where I belong. So that being said, there's a lot of negativity online, and I want you to do some pushback. Respond to those comments. Don't just, scroll and read and, ignore those comments. Respond to those comments. The other thing is, we have talked about our elected officials. We have talked about all the challenges that we have. But what about the media? The media is actually the one that's publicizing and, targeting specific Somali stories when there's also other bigger stories, and there's no accountability, there's no one talking about that. So the media should also be held accountable. We have to go after those negative articles and stories on Star Tribune, on K11, WCC, or anywhere, any news agency. And when I say news agencies, it's local to Minnesota. Very few national agencies are actually promoting these negative Somali stories. It's more of us Minnesota-owned media houses that are promoting, and we know them, and we have to hold them accountable. The third thing is, Faisal talk about this, Huda talk about this. We Somalis have gone through basically everything. So whatever the top people in the country wants to bring on to Somalis, let them bring on. We are not. We don't fear anyone. We are citizens. We are taxpayers. And we own properties, and we are here to live forever. We're not going back to anywhere. And I think historically, those folks who are talking about the Somalis in those negative ways have never done any research on the Somalis. As somebody said, we are the poorest. We are not the poorest. We work. We own properties. We own businesses, and we follow the Constitution. So if somebody wants to take us out of this country, they should also go with us. And leave this land to the Native Americans. Anyone who wants to take back the Somalis should also back their back, and we'll go with them. Lastly, I wanna thank Jane Conrad. In one of my job interviews, Jane was sitting, and Jane asked, "This job you may get arrested. Do you think you are ready to get arrested?" And and I was telling Jane yes. And now that was February 2018, and now I wanna assure you that I'm still a community organizer, a community leader, and I am willing to get arrested for the right thing, for fighting the right fight, for fighting for this community, Jane. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ahmed, and thank you very much all of you participants. From the greater community, we appreciate the support you are showing to us. Our community members who are here today, thank you for coming to support and stand up for your community. God bless you. It's your responsibility. I would like to start with my talk. This hate did not start from Emmer. It started way long time ago. It was pre-planned, premeditated to create this magnitude hate that we are facing. It is maturing now. It is when it is going to hit us like Hitler when he was targeting the Jews. almost 25 years ago, after the tragic incident of September 11, 2001, like it was programmed, It started from there. President of United States of that time was blaming weakest link of Muslim nations, nations that were in a civil war created by proxy war, which that president himself, his army, was involving, destroying, chasing people out of their homes, sending them to refugee camps. Can you stop and think a bit? The refugee plight, how hard it is, losing everything, leaving your home, restarting life, first running, fleeing, without thinking even. And when you ended up to a safe area, they welcome you. They have too many faces. They lie to you. Then they want to blame you. Their act. They are the one who are dropping bombs to the refugees. Refugees are the one who are running away from them. Then they started blaming Muslims from Somalia, Yemen, Sudan. Those are the weakest. They were not blaming their own rich Middle Eastern friends that were involving that because they have money, wealth. But they were funding this, and part of that terrorist group was funding truly by the government of United States to fight the Russians when they were fighting with Afghanistan in early 90s. They were also killing American boys there for no outcome. In Vietnam and in everywhere, legislators we are electing are always doing similar things and blaming American citizens, the weakest one always. We remember the Japanese coming, U.S. Japanese citizens in 1940s. It is not something starting today. Lugar was nominated by Obama 2012-2013 to become the 5th district attorney in Minnesota. And he was the one who was arresting Somali young people that were innocent. Then, after that, he was also renominated by Biden to arrest Somalis that were fraudsters of the children food. That $1 trillion, or more than $1 trillion released by the federal government, was federal government itself responsibility to issue that money with accountability system, not just throwing the money out of the bank to the people and then blame it to the weakest, the poorest, the minority. It is not. Our legislators are not doing their job. I'm not blaming one. I am blaming all. And we are behaving like watching, like we citizens are watching our leaders to destroy our nation, to divide our nation, to kill our children, to displace families, to deport them. In the Office of United Nations, 1948, I think, U.S. government signed it. The Act of Refugees was law. If I break the law, they can call my names everywhere. If Trump broke the law, nobody talks up after him. That is not a governing way. This government, I am not the only one who is losing the United States. I'm a citizen. It's my country. I'm not the only one who is losing. everybody is losing because this country is not going to exist if the leaders are behaving this current way they are behaving, or present way. It is something scary, something we need to stop it here, not blaming one party and other party or this. We are the citizens, we are the voters. We can stand up and say no. This country, founders gave us to inherit the constitution of this country, which is saying all men born equal. Equal and free. They cannot change United States government to become imperialist government or anarchy or something in the pocket of one man that can do everything, can bombard any nation, can kill people. We can see nowadays this world has no order. We Somalis, we already went the bottom of the barrel, but many nations are falling soon and face the pain we were facing many decades ago. Please stand up.
Ready? As a traditional or religious way, whenever we come together in an event which we want to say something, first we always recite the Quran. And then when we recite the Quran, Allah will help us to go the right way, or whatever we wanted to do, make us easier. And my brother Ahmed welcoming me, but before I say anything, I think I'm the Sheikh here today, and I want to recite some Holy Quran, and then I will start my speech. And when it comes to the reality, Hassan is the Sheikh. He's the best Sheikh in St. Cloud, but I'm the activist Sheikh in the city. So there's two different things. So I know Holy Quran 414 of Holy Quran recitation, and I know Husn al-Muslim, almost 4 kutub have been finished for Sunnah to and Riyal Salihin, all those kind of. So Hassan is the best Sheikh, but right now I'm the active Sheikh in the city. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. لقد كان لسبأ في مساكنهم آية جنتان عن يمين والشمائل كلوا من رزق ربكم واشكروا له بلدة طيبة ورب غفور فأعرضوا فأرسلنا عليهم سيل العرم وبدلناهم بجنتين ذواتي أكل خمد وأصل وشيء من ستر قليل ذلك جزيناهم بما كفروا وهل نجازى إلا الكفور وجعلنا بينهم وبين القرى التي باركنا فيها قرى ظاهرة وقدرنا فيها السير السير فيها ليالي وأياما آمنين قالوا ربنا بعد بين أسفارنا وظلموا أنفسهم وجعلناهم أحاديث ومزقناهم كل ممزق إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور صدق الله العظيم. Again, my name is Omar Abdullahi Puri, and today I want to speak on behalf of the Somali American community in central Minnesota and as well of entire state of Minnesota. Today I speak on behalf of my community in Minnesota to firmly deny the fabricated allegation of fraud against the Somali Americans. Our community has always worked closely with the political organizations and non-profit institutions who focus on helping families, children, and vulnerable residents. We operate with transparency accountability, and dedication to public service. It is important to state clearly there is no Somali American organization in Minnesota that is eligible to receive $250 million to $300 million at one time. These claims are false and intentionally misleading. They have been created by individuals who want to damage and divide the Somali American community and their neighborhood. We clearly denied as East African community as Somali American here in central Minnesota St. Cloud. We urge everyone to ask the real question, him or herself. And that question is, let us ask ourselves, who signed the checks to give these people? We still don't know that anyone who cut the check, sign and send it or give it to the people who has already been taken to the places. The checks looks like anyone who take that check has signed it by his own or her own self. So the check has been given, but they were signing themselves, which is totally wrong. Which board members approved the spending bill? We don't know that any board members coming together approve this funding and saying that Abdulkadir or Omar or Ali or Usman or Asha can get this amount of money. There is no board member who sat down and decide how much each year, how much each month, how much quarterly can be taken for that program. Okay, who hired and interviewed the individual involved? We do not have any people or any group in Minnesota who come and sit down and interview all the people working in that organization. None. The people who working over there has been called in the market, groceries, restaurants, and street for out there coffee shops. They call them, they bring them, and they say that, do you need a job? And they give a job. So no one get the process to get hired, do this job. Because you will see that all the people who had been in trouble today, none of them finished high school diploma. Some of them are claiming that they are college graduate or university, but it seems clearly that none of them is eligible to manage even 10,000 US dollar. And they were given in hand by a check of 100,000 US dollar. I have been in the United States for over 20 years and I haven't seen a single check for 100,000 US dollar. None. Through the organization, through a prophet, through company, anywhere, I never seen for my life 100,000 check get together. And I personally witnessed that 750,000 US dollar by giving an individual Somali lady who used to work a factory which her paycheck has been $700 a week. Was there any demonstrated need from Somali, East African, or Minnesota children that justified such funding? Who registered all those children? Where are they living? Where they came from? What name are they? Is there any famine in our state for that time? No. There was no need any East African or Somali American in central Minnesota or in Minnesota who was in famine. None. Every family has food stamp and the federal government make double digit. They were given, when they were getting 1,200 US dollar, the government has added extra 1,200 and families was been receiving 2,400 each families. So there was no need, there was no any food Somali community need at that time. So the answer, do Somali community need that funding? No. Is there any Somali or East African organization has been received such a funding ever? No. We also know that every dollar of public funding must go through the state of Minnesota. Federal government paid millions of dollars to the state of Minnesota, and that money has been paid by Minnesota Department of Economic Development, like DEED, received all grants from federal government, and it go through. Why they needed to give an organization which capacity building for $300,000 a year for $250 million a dollar, $250 million, which will feed entire state of Minnesota, entire state of Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, Tennessee, all Midwest states' children can be fed $250,000 US dollar. But they giving that money an organization which only had the capacity of $300,000 US dollar for $250 million. Do you think that we are crazy not to understand anything? No. We know that where this money goes and where it comes from and why they paying out for an organization who does not have the capacity. In Minnesota. Okay. This money wasn't go through deed, and that's why they given an owning non-profit who lead by white lady. And even the board members in that organization was not get involved. So it seems that they said we sent it through the account, half people, they collected 40 individuals across the city of Minneapolis, and all those 40 people sending through the statewide, and also they were only looking for Somali American. They came to me, some of them came to me, and they said that we're going to pay you a single day for $1,000. I said that even Joe Biden did not receive that money, so take away from me. So they were trying to mess up every individual from our community, and it has been fabricated and trying to destroy our community. And we have been denying, and we denied to take that money as Central Minnesota. And even when they came to me, I did not stop from there. I make a phone call and tell every individual who connected with me to deny all those money. And that's why today we safe. But Minneapolis people who had been already had trouble issue or financial hardships receive a big checks. And some of them go through the market. They go and deposit through their bank account. And they're saying that, oh, COVID-19 make us pride. Come on. We have received enough money right now, you see. And some of them buy a house. Some of them buy, So it was something which has been, So we had about $250 million, but news recently saying that $300 million. So 50 million increase already. So this situation is not about fraud committed by our community. This is a political motivated attacks against the Somali community. It is not about fraud. It is about political attack by East African community, including Somali community. An attempt at our community's discrimination. When you check today every media across the state of Minnesota, whenever they talk, the highlight is Somali American who committed a fraud. That's the make headline. So Somali American community in Minnesota are not only 40 people. No, never. So those people has already been organized and asked them to do this in order to mess up our community name. Our community refuses to accept blame for action we did not commit. We will defend ourselves, we will deny this false allegation, and we will hire legal counsel to protect our community from irresponsible media narratives and failed political agendas. As you are aware that Congressman Tom Emmer abusing Somali women by telling the media that Somali women are leading their children, are claiming their children are autism. And he says that they don't have any autism. We are sorry to hear that a person who get elected as congressman in central Minnesota. I would say this, Congressman Tom Emmer, we will see you in 2026, and you deserve to retire.